So hey guys, it's time for another Q&A video. Just so you guys know, this is actually kind of rainy day footage in case things happen and I can't make a video in time. So these questions were all recorded in the summer of 2018, just in case it's like way in the future somehow. But I highly doubt these answers are actually going to change. So let's just get on to the video. So first question is, what is the best day to post art? Okay, now this depends all on, like, your analytics and everything, because this is very different. I've noticed for me, the middle of the week has always been best. I don't know why. For some people, it's the weekends, but for me, the middle of the week have always been best for me. That's why I usually shoot for Wednesdays, for my videos and other things, and for live streams, I try to go for, like, either some of the weekend, mostly, like, either Friday or Monday. Those shoot well for me, but, that's for videos. For art, honestly, any day of the week's okay. Especially when it comes to, like, commission artists like myself. Pretty much finish a commission, post it, unless you're not supposed to. Maybe it's, like, client-based, or you're on an NDA or something. But if you have something done, just post it. Doesn't matter what real time it is. Just try not to... my friends and I have, it's a very vulgar saying. So be warned. But don't cum shot people. That's what we call it when, like, someone will be, like, MIA for, like, 3 months and then post, like, 2,000 pictures in one day. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is very, very, like, a lot of people are not going to remember the pictures they're going through. They're not doing that. I'm not saying you can't do big batches, but let's say you finish a picture a day, maybe spread it out and post it every other day. I mean, hey, if you do a picture every day, you'll have a big backlog for a good time. But don't, you don't, like, do, like, 15 in one day, 16 in another, and then be gone for, like, 2-3 months, because then people are going to be really like, what? Especially if, like, you do a lot of commission work like I do, and then you actually work really hard on, like, a personal piece or an illustration. If you throw that illustration in there with those, like, 15, 16 commissions, chances are going to pass through it. So try to just even that out, so... Alright, next question. What made you start witchcraft? Oh, for you guys who don't know, I consider myself a witch or pagan, whatever you want to call it. I don't follow a single deity, but I feel very connected to spiritual nature and stuff like that, and I consider myself technically more of a kitchen witch than most other things, but the witches out there know what I'm talking about. But I've always been interested in the occult since I can remember. And, like, in my little Q&A I did with my dad back in Father's Day of 2018, we talked about how, like, he was really into occult stuff, too. And so when I was 13, he actually gave me all of his old books because he knew I was always interested in it. So I had a bunch of his books on, like, on Wicca, witchcraft, paganism, Satanism, like, everything. My dad was just a very fascinating person who did a lot of things. He gave me his first deck of tarot cards. And it just literally spiraled from there. And what happened was before that, quick, really rambly, I used to be Jewish. I was raised Jewish by my mom. And there was nothing wrong with being Jewish. But as I got older, certain things I was noticing where I was being surrounded by, and I'm not including this isn't my family, it's just the temples and the churches I went to. I was surrounded by very, very toxic relationships with religion. I actually lost a best friend to joining, like, a super Christian cult, and we just literally stopped talking after that because she dumped everybody to join that, like, super creepy Christian cult. I was back in high school too, so we couldn't really do anything about it, but I was having a lot of issues, and the bottom line is, all of my really religious friends have all told me about having this moment or this connection, whether it be when they were a kid or when they were an adult or when they went to a certain church, where they felt this presence. And I had never had that with Judaism. I've been to a couple of Christian churches, never had that happen. And then the first time, it was, I believe it was Litha of either 2016 or 2017, I finally did my first little, like, spell, and I did, like, an enchantment and stuff like that, and I finally felt that connection that all of my religious friends talked about. I felt connected to something greater, and it made me happier, and that's just kind of how it worked for me, and that's how I feel about a lot of things, because I would talk to people who would actually say the exact opposite, where they would have these instances in other things. So, like, I remember I brought a kid to temple once in elementary school, and he was raised Catholic, and he told me how when he went to that temple, he felt that presence, but his family was Catholic, and they wouldn't let him be Jewish, and now as an adult, he's a Jew, and stuff like that, and Vice versa. I've had instances of my family members talking about, like, they would go to, like, a Christian church or a wedding or something, and they would feel that presence there, but it had nothing to do with Judaism, but they stuck with Judaism. And so for me, it's just what made me feel connected to something, which is what I do. Which is why I'm very laid back. I don't celebrate all the holidays. I don't do sacrifices or anything like that. But I like doing enchantments. I like making blessed water. I like doing wishes and stuff like that, and helping out my friends when I can. When you let them know, don't do spells behind people's backs. But yeah, that's how I found it, and it's made it. I feel happier ever since then. It's been making me feel good. So that's how I started my craft. Next question is, how did you start up your YouTube channel? Speed paints, Q&A videos with audio. Oh, that was my notes. Yeah, so I was like, sorry. I was like, why did I write that down there? And I was like, well, duh, that's how it started. So I've actually had this YouTube channel for a long time where I'd every now and then post a speed paint with no audio to it. And I would just have music. And that was kind of just it. That was the thing back in the day. And I didn't have many subscribers at all. I don't even think I had like 100 for a good 3-4 years. And so what actually happened was I decided one summer to actually do this YouTube thing. And by that, I wanted to keep a schedule because I was very bad at keeping schedules back then. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a video once a week. I can do this. I can make a video once a week. And then it went from that to slowly doing talkie videos and then doing more speed paints. And now people love my ramble videos over my just plain speed paints. And so that's how it spiraled from there. And then I made the yes, artists can scam video because I felt no one on the internet was talking about it, and so I talked about that video, blew the fuck up. It blew the fuck up, and then I gained a lot of subscribers from that, and then I did another one. I think it was my work horror stories video, which was the second big one to blow up, and it's like, oh, so I should make videos that blow up. No, because I didn't make those videos with the intention to blow up. I made those videos when I wasn't even at 500 subscribers because I had done my 500 subscriber giveaway video. Because I felt like I needed to talk about this. I wanted people to talk about it. No one was talking about it. And now people are talking about it. Which is the cool thing about YouTube that I like. I like having discussions. I like talking to people. I like seeing different opinions. It's weird, right? It's almost like someone can have a different opinion than you and different experiences and still be a good person. Oh. So, but that's how I started my YouTube channel. Alright. So, next question. Any advice for a traditional artist trying to make it? Okay, so this is very important. A lot of people are probably going to be like, the fuck, Michelle? You don't do traditional art. What are you talking about? Okay. So, if you want to be a traditional artist and be professional about it, you need to learn formatting. You need to learn how to copy something properly. You need to learn how to fix a scanner and fix your scans. Something that, drives me up a wall. You don't even need a scanner anymore. What am I talking about? You can use smartphones. There are literally apps that will transform your picture. If you have a smartphone with an HD camera, which are most smartphones nowadays, you'd be surprised. You can take a really good picture of something. There's a program that'll literally edit it for you as a ping, and then you can email it to yourself, and then there you go. But seriously, if you want to be a good professional traditional artist, you need to know basic formatting, you need to know basic Photoshop, because whenever you take a picture of something or scan something, it's not going to look like the original, and you want it to look like the original as close as you can. So you have to learn about hue and saturation, color correction, just little touch-ups here and there. Because the biggest thing I see is people will do raw scans, and it'll look ugly as shit, and they'll be like, well, I'm a traditional artist, I don't need to know this, and then post it, and then wonder why their shit doesn't get seen. It's because you're making really good art look ugly. It's bad. It's like, it's like when you see pixel art, but it's rendered as a JPEG instead of a ping, and you're just like, ugh! What did you do to that beautiful, hard pixelness? You just made it all janky and gross. Seriously, learn basic formatting. You don't have to know a lot, but basics, and you'll be good. And use tags and other social media tricks. But seriously, one of my biggest pet peeves is I have a lot of friends who are artists, who are really good artists, who are really good traditional artists, who won't learn formatting. And their excuse is, well, I don't want to. And then they wonder why their shit's not being seen. It's because it looks gross, when it's not gross. You know it's not gross. I know it's not gross. Because I can see it in person, but the random person on the internet can't see it in person. So that's what you want to do. You know, just do it that way. Seriously, learn basic formatting. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, and then once you know it and you use it, it becomes second nature. Seriously. And also, if you're a kid listening to this, and I upset you, I'm very sorry. You're a kid, have fun, but if you want to be professional, learn formatting. Learn basic formatting. Alright. Whew, that was a long-winded tangent there. Alright, next question. How did you meet Cody? We were in high school. I know it's like lame, but I'm planning on doing a video about that like in the future. So yeah, we met in high school. We were friends, and then we started dating, and now we're engaged. And hopefully, by the time this goes up, we'll be married. How long have you been with your partner? At the time of recording this, I have been with Cody for 10 years. Okay. Next question. Favorite music genre. I really like alternative rock. I also like, well, I shouldn't say just that. I gravitate towards alternative rock, but I like almost all music except new age rap. I like old rap. I like Biggie Smalls and Tupac and stuff, and which a lot of people are surprised when they find that out about me. But I love music. I just don't like a lot of modern rap now. I think it's gross. It doesn't sound the same. But other than that, I will listen to literally everything. Same goes for country, though. I guess I should go on country. Like, I like happy country because, like, depressing country is fucking depressing. Like, it makes me, like, so upset, and it doesn't uplift me, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't need that. So, like, happy country, old rap, all kinds of music, but I do lean more towards alternative rock and alternative and stuff. Alright, next question. What are your favorite books from your childhood / teen years? Ooh, this is a good one. This is probably the last one I'll do for this video. My favorite book series that I grew up with would have to be, a lot of people don't know, I actually have selective dyslexia, which is where and I didn't know this for the longest time, but I had trouble reading because of that. Like, if something doesn't catch my interest, I can read 1,000 times, my brain will not keep it, and like some of the words will get mixed up, which is actually why I tend to stumble over my words a lot, is because my brain will read it one way when I know it's another way, but my brain will be perfect example is like the name Zach, okay? Z-A-C-H. I know it said Zach, but every time I see it, my brain goes Zach. Same with words like character or chameleon. You know, the joking like How I Met Your Mother, where it's like, yo, it's like a chameleon. And they're like, you mean a chameleon? He's like, no, it's a chameleon. Like, that's how my brain works, and it really fucking sucks, because I know how the words are, but my brain's like, no, it's pronounced this way, when I'm like, no, it's just like, no, stop that rational thinking. I'm your brain. And so, because of that, reading was really hard for me to get into, which is funny, because I'm, a giant book nerd now. The first book that ever made me, like, fall in love with reading was, Interview with a Vampire by, I don't know why, but yeah, just Interview with a Vampire. I don't know why I can't think of the author's name right now, which, I am so ashamed of myself that I can't think of her name. But, Interview with a Vampire got me into, like, really reading. And then after that, I was super big into the Vampire Kisses book, and then the series just spiraled out of control. I was really into Cirque du Freak. I was really into the Demonata. I loved Tithe. Tithe was actually my first, like, fairy tale book, technically, that I ever read. It is a modern fairy tale, it's in the cover. But, I love Tithe. I was actually I still am. A lot of people don't know that. I'm actually, like, really, really into vampires. I know a lot about vampires. Most people know me as, like, the witch girl, but, for the longest time, it was witches and then vampires, and I know so much about vampires, which is why I actually have a vampire story, on top of, my normal March story and stuff, but fucking love vampires, so I've read so many vampire books, but yeah, those are the ones I grew up with. I read the Twilight books. I thought they were okay. Then again, I read them when I was, like, 13, keep that in mind, and then I made my video when the last one came out and everything, so I've read all the Twilight books. They were okay. They weren't as trash as I thought, because I was also a kid, but then the movies came out, and the movies made me, like, reread the books, and then I'm like, ooh, this is, So, like, Twilight, I think it's okay for little kids to read, but for adults, I kind of just, step away from that. But yeah, that's what I loved. And then in my teen years, I read a lot of other books. Like, I can't even remember. I read so many. Another one I really loved was probably the only book I enjoyed in school that we had to read was Frankenstein. Fucking loved Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Oh, that's such a good book. So, totally suggest Frankenstein for people out there. But yeah, those are the books I grew up with. All really good books. I totally suggest them. It's funny because I see a lot of people talking about warrior cats and stuff now. And I'm sitting here like, warrior cats, the fuck is that? But then I remember back in my day where it's like everyone knew about the Demonata. Everybody knew about the Cirque du Freak books. Everybody knew about those books. And now it's it's passing on to a new generation. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it here for this Q&A. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I did. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye!